And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Romero versus Clemens. Step forward, please.
Nurse Penny Romero is suing her ex-boyfriend's current wife, homemaker Connie Clemens, for selling a car belonging to her daughter.
Mrs. Romero, the defendant is your former husband's wife. Is that right?
It is his wife. He is not my ex-husband.
He is the father of your daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you were never married.
Correct.
This is his wife.
Yes.
And that's your daughter?
Yes, that's my daughter.
So this is your complaint. Where's the husband? You can stand up. Your complaint alleges that in 2001, you put down a down payment for a car for your daughter.
Yes.
And it was about $500. And at some point, she went to live with her father and his wife. When was that?
In 2002.
And she took the car with her.
Yes.
At the time she moved in with her father, she was how old?
17.
The car was sold or traded in, according to them, because your daughter got a new car. Did you get a new car?
Yes, I did.
While you were living with your father?
No, I got it this December. I was living on my own.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I have a few questions for you, so you can stand next to your mother. You want the money back that you put into the car?
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be very fast. It's not going to be long. It's not very complicated. When you moved out of your mother's house, you took the car with you?
She wouldn't let me take it when I moved out, but then I called her and I said, this is the car I have. It's a pile of crap. I need that car back. And she said, okay, that's fine. She told me where it was, and Connie and my dad said we needed to pay off the money that was owed on it still. So they went in and paid off what was owed. They traded in my car, the car that I was driving at the time.
Just one second. So your mother first said that you couldn't have the car. She wouldn't let you take it with you. Is that right? Even though it had been a gift?
Yes.
Then you called and asked her whether or not you could please have it, and she said, well, I left it at somebody's garage or somebody's lot or whatever. And your father and his wife went in and paid off the rest of what was owed on the car.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
How much was that?
Oh, I don't know what they paid.
How much
in
was
cash.
that?
We traded her old car for it that we bought her because her mom wouldn't let her use that car.
So when you moved in with your father, they bought you a used car to get around in, but it wasn't a good one? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
And then they traded that one in and paid off the one that your mother had bought for you.
Yes.
Now you had the use of a better car.
Yes.
Excuse me,
And
Your Honor.
Don't speak. Now, when you left your father's house, did you take the car with you?
Yeah.
And what happened to the car?
The heater broke in it, and it was winter, and the hood didn't latch, and the windows didn't seal, and the roof was falling off, and so I needed to get a new car.
And did you tell that to your father?
Yeah.
And what did you do? Did you trade it in?
No, I wasn't planning on doing anything with that car. That I was just going to buy this new car, and so I just left the car at their house.
And what did you do with the car?
We put it up for sale.
Okay. And how much did you sell it for?
$250.
Tell me your first name.
Susie.
Susie. You left the old car at their house.
Yeah.
What did you believe they were going to do with the car?
I didn't know anything. We were deciding if we were going to try and sell it and split the money. There was never anything decided.
Now, when they told you that they sold the car, had you known that they were...
I didn't know until right now that the car was even sold.
Okay, so the car is sold. Who did you sell the car to?
Just a family up in Grand Ron.
And what year car was this?
In 86.
So they got $250. Do you want the $250 back? It was your car.
It's not really important to me.
Right. I assumed not. You lived there and they sort of bought you one, traded in one to get the other one. Now, my question, Ms. Romero, what makes you think you're entitled to $1,100 from these people?
Because when we originally bought the car, I went with Susie, we picked it out, I put the down payment on it, I made payments on it until she got to work. The agreement was we tried to get her a new car financed, we were going to sell the old car and split it, or either we were going to fix it for my 16-year-old son to drive.
You're not entitled to your money back. You made your daughter a gift. She could do whatever she wanted with the car. There's no strings attached to a gift. You bought your daughter a car. You bought it for her in 2001. That's 3 years ago. She's been through 2 cars since. I mean, get a life. Your case is dismissed.
I have a life.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I had a feeling it would go like this because it was a gift for...
I think the ruling was correct.
I don't care either way. I have a car, and that's all that I was looking for, was having a car that ran.
There's just always something that she brings us to court back and forth on.
This is how it's been forever.
We've been in a custody battle for over 3 years with 2 children.
My parents are usually doing something. I mean, we're usually in court over something.
Yeah, it's ongoing, and I wish it would stop.
This is it. This is it. We're done now.
It's fine. We're just going to keep on going.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Matthews versus Hallmark, step forward.
Department store worker Sharon Matthews is suing her friend's ex-boyfriend, mechanic George Hallmark, for damage to her car. Sharon claims George power braked, spraying her car with rocks.
What's your name?
Cynthia Dodd.
Dodd? Mm-hmm. I assume from what I read, Miss Matthews, that Miss Dodd was the friend that you were referring to in your complaint. Is that
Yes.
right? You were helping, according to you, Miss Dodd move out of Mr. Hallmark's residence. They had been boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that right? She called you and asked you, or came over to your home and asked you if you would go over and accompany her while she retrieved some of her property.
Yes.
Because I assume, well, step up for a moment. I assume, Miss Dodd, that you were separating from Mr. Hallmark and it was not a friendly separation. Is that right?
Correct.
How long had you been together?
About 7 months.
You were living in his house?
Yes.
Just the two of you?
Yes.
When did you decide to leave?
When he threw me out,
What date?
the 11th of February.
Had you had an argument?
Yeah, I was taking him to work, and he told me to get out of his car and just go away. So I called her mother-in-law and had her come pick me up.
Where did you have her pick you up?
Across the street from his work, where he put me out of his car,
And from there, where did you go?
to her mother-in-law's home.
Then there came a time when you went back to his house, is that right, to collect some of her property?
Yes.
And that was also on the 11th?
No, this was on the 23rd of February of this year.
Had you made arrangements with Mr. Hallmark to go back and get your things on
Yes,
that
Your
date?
Honor.
Tell me about that.
I called and asked him if it would be okay if I came and picked up a few things, and he said that'd be fine.
What things did you want to get?
Just some clothes.
You hadn't gotten any clothes?
No, ma'am.
Did Miss Dodd call you on the 23rd and ask you if she could come over, Mr. Hallmark?
Sure did.
And you said it was okay?
Yeah.
And what happened when she got there?
She got her things. As we were leaving, I pulled up next to her and I said, "Nice car, Sharon."
Okay. That's
all
what we're
this-
getting. Just a second. So you got your things inside.
Yes.
And it's your claim, Miss Matthews, that at some point during that interchange of property, Mr. Hallmark damaged your car.
Yes, he did.
Now we're going to take it step by step, because he says he didn't, and if he did, it was an old car, or it was an accident. You know, there are a couple of defenses here. He's going to give all of them to me when it's his turn, right?
Sure.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you went inside to the house, and you got your things.
Yes.
Did you have any words with him?
Yeah, I asked him to please not start yelling at me like he usually does and threatening me.
Well, what did you say to him, and what did he say to you? She was waiting outside. You were waiting outside?
Yes, I was waiting outside, and I told her, if anything happens, just yell really loud. Or otherwise, if you take too long, I will be up there to knock on the doors, because we got to go.
Okay. So she went into the house, you went and knocked at the door, and what happened, Miss Dodd, when you knocked at the door?
I asked George if it was all right if I came in and got some stuff, and he said that'd be fine. Then he asked me why I was doing this, and I said, because you threw me out. And I asked him, please stop yelling and don't,
Was he yelling at that point?
He's starting to raise his voice, and he's known to be loud.
Okay. What happened next?
And then he kind of calmed down, and so I finished getting my things, and I got outside.
You brought your things outside.
Correct. To Sharon's car.
Did you put them in the car?
Yes.
What happened next?
We started to back out, and he walked up to her and said, "Oh, nice car," because she'd just got her car like
she
2
was
days.
you weren't in the car yet. You were over at your car in the
Oh,
front
yeah.
of the driveway.
I didn't, just a second. I
I'm
didn't hear
sorry.
you. Was she in your car?
I was next to the car.
You were standing next to the car.
Yes.
Now tell me what happened.
Okay, because she had her vehicle that he had pushed out in the road and had towed away like the next day or something, but that's beside the point.
Well, then don't give me what's beside the point. I have to stick to the point. I'm old.
Okay, sorry, but okay, she had walked out to her vehicle and was trying to get into it, but she didn't have the keys, and that's when I backed out of the driveway. And after I backed out and I pulled up just towards her car, going the opposite direction, that's when George had went out the driveway too, but he was going up next to my car, and that's when he said something like, nice car, does it run good, or something to that effect.
Did you answer him?
No, I didn't say anything. I just turned up my radio. And at that point, she came into my car and got in the vehicle because she didn't have the keys to her car. And he went around me, and at that point, it goes down to where it Y's off. You have to go one way or the other, and there's like dirt and gravel right there at the end of the street. And at that point, it seemed like a long time, but it was about 30 seconds where he had power braked his car, and he kept his foot on the brake and put his foot down on the gas and just kept burning out. It seemed like forever because I thought my window had broken quite a few times the way it cracked and it hit the windshield and it hit the front end of my car.
Pebbles?
Yeah, well, there's like rocks and dirt and everything down there. It's not a very good street.
You have pictures of the damage to the car?
Yes, I have one picture on it.
What time of the day was this?
It was about approximately 7:30 p.m.
After he revved up his car and caused this debris to go on your car, did he leave?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hallmark, now I'll hear you, sir.
Pardon me?
I'll hear you.
Can you repeat that?
I will hear you.
Okay. What do you want to hear?
I want to hear your version of the events of the 23rd of February, sir.
Yeah? Here's a picture of the corner.
No. I don't want to see a picture of the
You don't
corner. I
wanna
want
see a
you to
picture
tell
of the
me what
corner?
happened.
She came, got her stuff. She was putting her stuff in the car, and I pulled up next to her and I go, "Oh, nice car, way to go." I went on up to the corner and took off. I punched the gas, and it got rocks, but she was still putting her gun in the trunk. And I don't know. The next thing she never asked me to repair it. She never showed me the damage.
What kind
Next
of work?
thing I know, I get this paperwork.
Stop it. What kind of
that
work?
I'm being sued.
Mr. Hallmark, what kind of work do you do for a living, sir?
Mechanic.
What kind of mechanic?
Mechanic.
Well, there are all kinds of
Automotive,
mechanics.
trucks.
Automotive.
Equipment.
Okay. Are you self-employed or do you work for someone?
Yeah, self-employed.
Where do you work out of, sir?
My house.
So you have a garage in your house?
No, I have a garage at my house.
Did you file tax returns last month?
You know what? You guys can laugh at someone else. I'm out of here.
Okay. Ms. Matthews, the defendant has chosen to leave, but I've heard enough after hearing the facts of this case and seeing his demeanor and temper to determine that he maliciously caused damage to your car.
Your Honor,
And
I'm sorry, ma'am.
You're suing for $700
Yeah.
for a paint job? That's a reasonable amount. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $700. We'll see someone escorts you out. Thank you.
Can you
That's
make
all.
sure he's not out there?
Yes, we'll
Thank
make
you.
sure someone escorts you outside.
Why did you excuse me? Step out.
He's very unpredictable.
That's exactly him. He's crazy. He's very irrational.
He has mood swings very badly.
He's a crazy man.
Shannon's company manager, Daniel Cruz, is suing his ex-fiancée, Shannon Kelly, for unpaid loans and for damaging his car in a drunken rage.
Yeah, it's case number 88 on the calendar in the matter of Cruz versus Kelly. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Mr. Cruz, Ms. Kelly was your former fiancée.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And according to your complaint, you believe that she owes you some money for some loans that were made a year ago by you.
Yes, ma'am.
And also, more recently, that she had a hissy fit about something and threw a potted plant at your car, causing some damage.
Yes.
Ms. Kelly says that while you were generous to her over the course of your relationship, there were never any loans, and she has no clue as to what you're talking about with regard to damaging your car. Who is this person, Ms. Kelly?
This is my boyfriend now.
Does he have any particular knowledge of this case?
He does. He
About
was, what? Basically, when we had broken off the engagement, Dan had become very upset with the whole thing, and he'd come to my house making threats, trying to get into my house, and he was there. And
well, that has nothing to do with this case.
Right. So basically,
Basically, he's just here as eye candy.
Whatever.
What's the matter? Isn't that right?
I can't do
All right. When were you and Miss Kelly engaged?
We were engaged on January 5th, 2004.
For how long?
We were engaged until February 20th of 2004.
And when were these loans, Mr. Cruz?
Loans were done at various times throughout the relationship.
Mr. Cruz, let's get to the biggies.
Sure.
Let's try this. Nothing under $100. I have a $100 threshold that I'm going to hear, sir.
I can guarantee there's nothing under $100, Your Honor.
Perfect.
Okay.
Give me the date. Give me what it was for.
Okay. The first one, Your Honor, was for rent that I paid for in May of 2003.
And how much was that,
That
sir?
was for $400.
Tell me the conversation that took place.
The conversation?
Yes.
Okay. I asked her, I said, do you have the money for the rent? And she said she did not have the money for the rent. And she asked if I could front it for her. I said, sure, I'd be willing to do that, but you're going to have to pay me back.
Okay. Now, do you remember that May of 2003?
I did not receive my check through the mail yet, and he did propose to, like, not lend me the money, but to pay for my portion of it.
Okay. Miss Kelly, let's stop there. You say your check didn't come in the mail.
Right.
What check are we talking about?
My disability check.
How much did you get from disability?
I get about $1,000 a month.
What's the nature of your disability?
Mentally have stress, a lot of stress. Basically, I was fired from a previous job for sexual harassment, and from that, it caused me a lot of damage. And so I went to see, I was going to fight against them and sue them.
All right, so you received Social Security disability? Do you still?
Actually, no. As of a few weeks ago, no.
Now, your check hadn't arrived yet. So you must have said to Mr. Cruz, my check hasn't come yet. My check hasn't come yet. Can you front the money for me?
I don't even think I went as far as asking him that. It was, you know, he paid for a lot of things for me.
No, I don't want to hear a lot of things. Listen, I'm a very organized person. We're talking about May of 2003 and your rent. And your rent. So if you were accustomed to paying your rent out of your disability check and your check was late, the common sense would be, can you pay the rent, and when my check comes, I'll give it back to you. That's common sense. I mean, that's what one would think of what was said.
Correct.
Right. And?
And
you paid the $400, your share of the rent. Did you ever get your check?
Yeah.
Did you give him back the $400?
I've tried, and he would not accept it because he said that he didn't want it.
Okay. Now, when was the next loan you made to her, sir?
December of 2003, I loaned her money for a couple of sets of car repairs, actually. First repair was December 18th of 2003. That was for $227.
Right.
The other one was December 20th, 2003. That was for $180.
Any other loans, sir?
In January 2004, there was money that I loaned her for medical expenses. I had gotten back from a cruise, okay, so I took her to the urgent care. The cost for that was $237. She did not have the money to pay it. I told her once again I would loan her the money for the $237, but that she'd have to pay me back for that as well.
And those are the loans you're talking about?
There's also one more loan. I'm sorry, I neglected to bring it up. It was in August of 2003. It was also for repairs for her car, okay, and that was for $281.68.
And you want to tell me about the damage to your car, sir?
January 19, 2004, I was on my way to work. First Monday back from the cruise. On the way to work, I was rear-ended by a lady. At the time, the car was still drivable, okay, but I knew I was going to have to take it into the shop, but knowing that it was going to be in there for at least a week or so, I didn't take it right away. January 23rd, she and I had an argument. She got upset with me. She went outside. My car was parked in front of her house. She took a potted plant. She broke it on my car. Now, I had made an insurance claim on the damage that the other lady caused me. However, I didn't make an insurance claim on what she had caused because I didn't want there to be any type of legal recourse against her as far as
you were
criminal.
engaged.
Right.
And you stayed engaged for another month.
That's correct.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Bill Cruz says ex-fiancée Shannon Kelly owes for unpaid loans and for smashing a potted plant on top of his car.
Okay, let's hear about the potted plant, madam.
I don't know what he's talking about, actually. We fought all the time.
So you mean he's making this story up?
Or if somebody else did it, he never I mean,
no.
There's, I don't know what he's...
All right. Anything else you want to tell me?
Yes, that this is not true. With the car repairs, he called me and said that he had a surprise for me, that he had recovered some funds that he wasn't aware of, and that he wanted to get my car out. And I said, no, I didn't want to. I'd rather pay for it myself, and he insisted. Okay, he decided to do that. When I did get my check, again, I did give him back $200 because I didn't want anything from him.
Why didn't you want anything from him?
Because he would use it against me and throw it up to me and make me feel terrible in fights.
What kind of work do you do, sir?
I'm a branch manager for a finance company.
Are you currently employed, Miss Kelly?
No.
And how do you support yourself, on disability?
I was up until recently, so now I'm going to find a job.
Do you live with this gentleman here?
Yes, I do.
Do you work?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a carpenter.
Okay. Here's your problem, Mr. Cruz. Of the 5 loans that you've made to her over the course of a 6 or 7 month period, she had not made any payments. Is that right?
That is correct.
That's not a loan. That's what you give to your girlfriend. I find that it's unreasonable to believe that if, in fact, this engagement came to fruition and developed into a marriage, that we wouldn't be standing here today. Right?
Well, that's...
Not well.
Not necessarily.
Well, not necessarily. I'm telling you that if you and Miss Kelly married, we would not be standing here today. You're angry. She didn't give you a lot of money. You gave her a lot of money. I mean, altogether, it doesn't amount to a whole lot of money over the course of a relationship that spanned a couple of years. But those aren't loans. Loans get repaid. Even marginally, they get repaid. And anybody you're in finance?
Yes.
Doesn't loan more money when the first loan hasn't been paid. And doesn't loan money for a third time when the first 2 loans haven't been paid. And doesn't loan money for the 4th time when the first 3 loans haven't been paid. Because if you do that, you're soon going to be out of business. Unless you're operating from your heart, because you're involved in a relationship. And then it no longer becomes an arm's length contract. It becomes a situation where, well, if the relationship works out, so it's over. But if it doesn't, I don't want to be out this money. So, Mr. Cruz, get over it. Let me see pictures of the car where she dropped the potted plant. What's in that box?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, I don't have pictures, okay? And the reason being for that is because she called me the next day. She apologized to me for doing it, and when I went to her house, I showed her what she had done to the car. She didn't realize it, and she looked at it, she said, I'm sorry. She said, but you are lucky, I meant to put it through your windshield. And I said, well, if you put it through the windshield, it probably would have cost less. I don't have pictures, but I do have the pieces of the pot that she broke on it. That's what's in the box.
You think, sir, that I'm going to look at the pieces of the pot without pictures of the car? Mr. Cruz.
Yes.
And she called you up and she apologized. Let me ask you this question, Mr. Cruz. Between the 23rd of January, when she caused this damage to your car, is that what you told me?
Yes.
Okay. And February 20th of 2004, you were in fact engaged. Is that right?
Yes.
Were you intimate during that period?
Yes.
You forgave her. You forgave her, sir. She feels as if you forgave her. I feel as if you forgave her. You got to put a period and say, I'm moving on. And whatever money it was, it's a cheap lesson. And I'm very, very lucky that I didn't hook my wagon to this star, which would have caused you in the long run in your life, Mr. Cruz, far greater damage. You could have done the absolutely unthinkable and stupid thing to have married this lady.
True.
Right?
Right? That's true.
Instead, this gentleman's going to marry her. That's going to be his problem.
Let him deal with it.
Right? Right.
Yeah, let him deal with it.
That's all. Good luck, sir.
Yep.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She's getting hers now. I mean, you can see with what she's with and what she's doing now, which is nothing, and what she'll always become in her life is nothing.
Basically, he just wants to, demolish whatever life that I do have.
She was cheating on me with the gentleman she brought in the courtroom today.
He was tried to commit suicide a couple times over me. He even was put into the hospital for 4 days in the mental institution for throwing me across the room and bruising my tailbone.
Look out for freeloaders like this one over here. She's going to cost you a lot of money, cost you a lot of heartache, and she laughs over here, but I'm going to get the last laugh when I see what her life has become.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Kurlanchik versus McEnany Burt. Step forward.
24-year-old teacher Jennifer Kurlanchik is suing her friends, 23-year-old student Paul McEnany and 24-year-old inventory controller Mike Burt for damages to a Hummer limo she rented on her birthday. Jennifer claims they broke the sunroof.
Ms. Kurlanchik, you rented a limousine to celebrate, I assume, your 24th birthday, and you invited a whole group of people to go with you. Two of the people you invited were these two gentlemen here, who, according to you, got a little out of hand and caused damage to the limousine. You were charged for the damage, and you want them to contribute to the cost of the damage that they did themselves. They say everybody was sort of involved in the nonsense, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How old are you?
23.
What's your first name?
Paul.
24. Mike.
First name?
Jennifer.
What do you do for a living, Jennifer?
I'm a special ed teacher.
Paul?
I'm a student and I bartend.
Student of what?
Student in advertising.
Logistics management and work as inventory control clerk and as well as go to school.
Look what responsible people we have here. When was your birthday?
February 29th.
How big was the limousine?
Could fit 15 people. It was a H2 Hummer limousine, so it's pretty large.
I've seen those things driving in the street. You can see them coming about a block away. And how do you know these? And how do you know these two guys?
We're friends. We're in the same fraternity, sorority. We're all friends. We're friends.
We're friends.
What kind of damage was done to the limousine?
The emergency exit window flew off on a major highway, shattered pieces, and I was charged the damages.
You mean the roof, like a sunroof?
Yes, it's actually a moonroof, and it flew off. There's 3 ledges to unlatch, and the boys unlatched it, and around 2:30 in the morning, it flew off. I didn't see it fly off. That's my witness saw.
How do you know it was these two boys that unlatched the moonroof?
Well, when the incident happened, Mike looked at me and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." And I didn't know what actually had happened. I was like, okay, fine, you can take care of it. After the incident happened, Paul comes up to me and he says, well, I was touching a button that made the sunroof go up and down. And that's where I was like, oh, so Paul and Mike were doing it. They were also at the back of the vehicle where the sunroof was located, along with Tracy and one of her friends.
So that's all that you know about how this happened?
Mm-hmm.
Step up. Tell me your name.
My name's Tracy.
Tracy what?
Thompson.
Were you sitting at a location where you could observe these two young men?
The way the limo was set up is there's 2 doors in the back. There was a bench seat that went across there, and I was sitting right there. At the top where the moonroof was, there was a stereo, buttons to turn on the lights in the bar. At that point in time, I had seen people playing with all the lights because the lights were changing, everything was moving around. Then all of a sudden, moonroof flew off the top of the car. It was gone. Both of these two looked at each other like, what do we do now? So,
how many people were sitting in their general vicinity?
There was one other person sitting next to me, and it was me. It was these two in front of us. And then the rest of the limo went down with people sitting all the way down in the front.
Now you say other people were touching the buttons, other than Mike and Paul?
Not that I know of.
So it was just Mike and Paul touching the buttons?
There were the only 2 that could touch the buttons. There was nobody else around.
Okay. Did you say to Jennifer, when the moonroof flew off, don't worry, I'll take care of it?
That's correct. I did say that, but that was at the end of the night.
Okay. Now, when you said, don't worry, I'll take care of it, were you referring to the moonroof?
No, I was referring to the driver because he was getting a little irate and telling us, who's paying for it, who's paying for it? And as we stopped the car, exited, I told her, you know, we're going to take care of it. We're going to help you out as far as talking to the limo driver, saying who was at fault and this, that, and the other.
Not this, that, and the other thing. So you said to her, don't worry, I'll take care of it, because you were going to explain to the limo driver whose fault it was.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do that?
Well, no, at the point in time she asked me to leave, so I left.
So you didn't?
No.
Well, let's say that you did go to the limo driver to explain whose fault it was. What would you have told the limo driver?
I told him what...
Look at me. No, right here.
All right. Basically, I told him...
Not
well,
basically.
I would have told him that it wasn't explained to us that this is an emergency escape hatch, because they said later on it's an emergency escape hatch and it was labeled. No, it wasn't labeled, and the driver never explained to us.
Then you were going to be arguing with him. Let me explain this to you, Mike. Basically, you would have said to the driver, I was touching the buttons with my friend Paul, and the moonroof fell off. But nobody explained to us that it was an emergency door, and it wasn't marked. So how are we supposed to know that it was an emergency door? Is that what you would have said to him?
In so many words, yes.
In less words than you just told me.
Yeah, hopefully.
So you would have said, yeah, we did it. But we didn't know if we touched these buttons and that sort of stuff that this moonroof was going to fall off. It was not properly marked.
Right.
But we did it.
Well, the only thing I had to do with it was I closed it when we got to Dallas. We were leaving from Denton to Dallas. Somebody opened it other than me and Paul. When we got to Dallas, I closed it. That's the last thing I had to do with it. And everybody's pointing fingers at me for some reason. And I'm trying to tell her, no, it's not me. And she doesn't want to buy that. She wants to say, you know, yeah, you did
Somebody
it.
else
She just
has
basically
to be
wants to get her
responsible.
money back.
From what Jennifer told me is there are 3 different latches too, and the only thing I ever touched is the one front latch that I thought would push it up, and it went flying off. So those 2 latches had to be undone, and I know other people around that area. I wouldn't, yeah.
Okay. Now, why did you push that one latch up?
Just to open. I thought it was a sunroof. It looked like a sunroof. Nobody told us it was an emergency exit.
You just wanted to get some air.
Yeah. It was 15 bodies, body heat, and everything else. So we opened
Okay.
up.
So, Jennifer, what?
I have warning signs on the sunroof as well as the latches. There had to be some work done to get these latches to come off. It's not a simple button. It's not a
Well,
simple
maybe it wasn't their fault, my dear. Maybe it was the fault of the limousine.
And can I
Maybe.
say that?
Shh.
Sorry.
Why, you want to fight with me about that?
No.
Maybe it was the fault of the limousine.
Well, I told everybody in this limousine, you do anything, you cause any damages, you break any glass, you're going to be responsible for it, because I had to
Yeah, but it
sign
wasn't
basically.
explained to us.
Where are you now?
Here.
What is here?
Judge Judy.
My space. Go ahead.
I had to sign a blank credit card slip that says we're going to charge you $600 for the flat rate.
Jennifer, my dear, you take 15 people out for an evening of partying. You sign on for a 15-passenger Hummer limousine, and you are going to expect that some damage might be done, for which you are going to be responsible. There isn't a shred of credible evidence that these 2 young men are responsible for that emergency exit. Not at all. The fact that they were sitting around there, the fact that they may have been touching it, the fact that he went to open up one of the latches to let some air in, that doesn't make him responsible. I don't even know if you're responsible. It's quite possible that there was a malfunction by the car. And the fact that the limousine company is charged a credit card, perhaps you should sue them.
The fact that they touched the roof and then
So
the lid
what?
flew off.
So what? So what? That doesn't make it their fault. I am not satisfied that you have sustained your burden to demonstrate that these 2 young men are responsible, that they either negligently, recklessly caused the damage to the limousine. It is just as plausible that someone else had touched one or more of those things at some point during the evening, and when he opened up one latch to let in some air, the thing fell off. That's also plausible. That doesn't make him responsible. And if the limousine company refuses to give you back your money, sue them. Because I don't think you have a case against these 2 young men. That's all. Case is dismissed.
Oh, he's like, excuse me, step out.
I think justice was served.
Now I'm out $700 for an action that I had no part of, that they clearly did.
I think she lost her money, and she's just trying to get her money back, and it's, you know, easy target.
We were celebrating my birthday. Of course we were, partying.
Well, we were having a good time. Next thing you know, the sunroof, moonroof, whatever you want to call it, it flew off.
One thing led to another. Sunroof flies off. You know, both boys say, shh, look at each other. They're guilty. I mean, they caused it to fly off.
She blames us, and she'd rather choose money over friendship, and I think that's really wrong.
You know, we're friends. You know, stuff happens.
Well, hopefully we can have a beer and get over it. We'll see what happens.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Nguyen versus Guerra, step forward, please.
20-year-old student Tawny Nguyen is suing her former landlord, speech teacher Sylvia Guerra, for the return of her $450 deposit and for the value of stolen property. Sylvia's countersuing for the remainder of the lease.
Ms. Nguyen, you're a university student?
Yes.
And according to your complaint, you rented a room from the defendant?
Yes.
And she rents rooms to several students?
Yes.
And it is your claim that she wrongfully evicted you from
Yes.
the room, that she should pay for that wrongful eviction,
Yes.
or a whole bunch of expenses. In addition, it's because of her negligence that some property of yours was stolen out of the house. You wanted to pay for that, and you wanted her to pay for the return of your security deposit.
Yes.
Ms. Guerra says that she tried to be nothing but nice to you, that nothing of yours was stolen from the house. As a matter of fact, because of your negligence, property was taken from the rest of the house. She believes you should be responsible for that. And in addition, she is suing for the remainder of the rent that you owe her under your lease. So she's counterclaiming. When did you sign a lease for the room?
January 28th, 2004.
Can I see the lease, please?
Yes.
When did you move out?
I moved out on March 7th. The problem was she had made the 10 o'clock rule that no guests could come in after 10 o'clock. So I had my boyfriend come in one time with me at 10:30, and Ms. Guerra had a problem with it, and I said, I'm sorry, I will never do that again. But the main problem was that my boyfriend was left at in my room for 2 hours on Wednesday, on March 3rd. That's when Ms. Guerra got upset and pulled me aside and told me that she didn't appreciate the fact that my boyfriend was there alone by himself. And Ms. Guerra started using obscene languages at me and calling me names. Then my boyfriend interfered and told her to stop talking to me like a mom, like even less than a mom. And Ms. Guerra started fighting with my boyfriend. Then she turned to me and said that I had 3 days to move. And this is what she gave me, the 3-day notice to perform conditions or quit. Saturday, I gave her the letter saying that upon your restated conditions, I would like to stay and perform the conditions to fulfill my contract.
You say, well, I'm going to comply with the terms that you indicate in the lease that I should have been complying with all along. But if you have a problem with it, you may choose to end the lease. And my obligation under the lease will also end. So what you're doing is covering yourself, which is very smart. You say, I'll leave, but if I leave, I'm not going to be responsible for any more rent. Right?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Guerra, let's move on.
She acknowledged that it was uncomfortable for all the other females in the house to have her boyfriend staying there when she wasn't there, day and night, him entering all hours of the night through the back door. And she would not agree to stop doing that. So she had to choose to either stop doing that or leave.
Actually,
I will, and she signed this agreement, said I will leave on Sunday, March 7th at 10 p.m. This will leave no obligation or financial responsibility on my part to fulfill the lease agreement, which ends September 1st. Tenant, she signed it and you signed it. So why, madam, are you here?
Because she would not give me the deposit money back, and also the money that I had lost during the burglary for totaling $750. She would not give
Okay, so let's talk about the burglary first.
Yes.
Ms. Guerra said that the house was in fact burglarized, but it was burglarized because of your negligence in leaving the back door open. She also says, and listen to me very carefully, you say you lost $750 worth of property. Is that right?
Yes.
Ms. Guerra said that she has a document, she said this in her answer, that says otherwise. May I see it, please?
I also have
I didn't ask you for anything yet.
Let me turn to the right page. This is the police report.
Okay, can I see it, please? The method of entry for this burglary was a house unlocked. They came in through the back door?
Yes.
Unlocked, and that's your door. Is that right?
No, that's not my door. That's everybody's door. Just because she gave me the key to come in late at night does not mean that it's only my door.
But she gave you the key to come into the back door late at night. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Am I correct that this burglary occurred on the 17th of February, 2004?
Yes.
And am I correct that you reported items missing some 2 months later on April 6th, 2004?
Actually...
Just answer my question.
Yes.
You reported it to the police after you were evicted?
Yes, because...
Get real. Okay. Now, why can't she have her security deposit back, $450?
Because she did not pay rent for March, and I found somebody that came in April 1st who's paying less rent, so I'm also losing each month by her not fulfilling her lease
Ms. Guerra, you have a counterclaim that's nonsense. You signed an agreement with the plaintiff that if she moved out, you were releasing her from any terms and conditions under the lease. So how could you now file for a claim for $3,000 for the money left remaining under the lease? How can you do that when you signed an agreement saying, if you go, I'm holding you harmless? How can you do that?
I figured since we were all suing each other, she was suing me, I would just sue her for what we also had in writing.
Think again.
Okay.
Think again. I don't like to be bothered.
Okay.
You owe what?
I believe that the item stolen from my room is what happened, and I did not have the police report right away because she had promised me that she would call the police to do that for me. And when
that's too bad. If I believe you, it's too bad, and I don't believe you. I believe that you set up this additional lawsuit in April, 2 months after the incident, and after you were evicted, and she didn't return your security deposit. Put your hand down. And after she didn't return your security deposit, a month after she didn't return your security deposit, you decided to make a whole big lawsuit.
I had no choice. She made me sign the paper.
Grow up. Listen, give her back $300 of her security deposit. She did, in fact, live there for a full week in March. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. Your counterclaim's dismissed. That's all.
All these are excuses. You may step out.
I don't feel that I broke the rule because Ms. Guerra, after the burglary, allowed me to have my boyfriend come in after 10 o'clock.
Her boyfriend lived there, and I was trying to not let that happen and get in the way of evicting a student during the semester.
I never really spoke to her, never really talked to her. I just come in, be with my girlfriend, and that's it, and I would leave.
I think Ms. Guerra scammed everybody with by only having international students live there, and she mistakenly thought that I was also an international student.
If she's suing me for items that were not even there, I figured I just will go ahead and countersue for what was really stolen from me.
An altercation with her.
I got a punch that come behind my head.
He tore up a wardrobe of mine. There were some TV damages done.
I have no idea what she's talking about.
I was just done and over the physical abuse, the verbal abuse.
I suggest you stay far away from each other. Do you understand?
This is Judy Justice. Blonsey O'Barron is suing his ex-girlfriend, Sharila Williams, for stolen property and money taken from his bank account.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 3056, O'Brien versus Williams.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. O'Barron, you and the defendant were a couple for a while.
Yes.
From when to when?
2021 to 2023.
When in 2023?
October.
Well, we're not there yet. October of 2023 comes up in a few months.
That was 2022, I meant.
Okay, so from 2021 to October
2022
of 2022.
Yes, my bad.
And you lived together. According to what I've read, you took an apartment and the lease was in both your names?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
And in what month and year was that lease signed?
In June.
June of 2022?
Yes.
Okay. You are in a wheelchair as a result of being shot.
Right.
When were you shot?
June 23rd.
Of what year?
2022.
Under what circumstances?
It was an altercation with my mother, my kids, and our boyfriend.
Okay, so it was somebody that you knew?
Yes.
And was that person arrested?
No.
Did you know who it was?
Yes, I know who it was.
Is there any reason why that person wasn't arrested who shot you?
I had a gun myself, and then the gun happened to go off. I didn't have an altercation with the person, so it was with somebody else. He was just there, and then he started shooting.
When you moved into the apartment with the defendant, you had not been shot?
No.
So when you were shot, you were hospitalized for a while?
Yes, I was
How long?
in the hospital for about 3-4 months.
I'm going to come to you with some dates.
Yes, Your Honor.
You moved into this apartment together in October of 2022?
So we moved in June of 2022.
And he was shot
that same month?
Yes, ma'am.
And he spent several months in the hospital?
He spent like 3 months in the hospital, yes, Your Honor.
Your complaint against the defendant is that she used some money because you subsequently became incarcerated.
She didn't use it. She stole it.
Stole. You were living together.
Yes.
I assume sharing expenses.
Right.
And you had a bank account.
Yes.
You were incarcerated.
Yes.
Which means that whatever income you had went into that bank.
Yes, ma'am.
And the two of you, when you were in the apartment, shared expenses, including rent. How did you expect her to pay rent with you incarcerated if she didn't use your money that was going into your bank account, which she had control over?
The rent was already paid for 3 months.
You were incarcerated on what day?
I was in the hospital when the rent was already paid.
Well, you were in the hospital, but then you went to jail.
I went to jail.
Okay, you went to jail from when to when?
October till April.
The lease wasn't up until May. How was she supposed to pay rent?
That's what I'm saying. I paid.
Are you telling me in October you paid October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May?
I paid for 3 months.
Which 3 months?
From October, maybe till December.
Let's say it's true. I assume you can prove to me that you paid the rent for those couple of months. What happened to December, January, February, March, and April? What about those 5 months?
We actually didn't have an agreement for me to pay anything, so
you were both on the lease. You were both fully responsible for the rent.
Right.
And you were paying something towards the rent.
Right.
Well, I'm asking you, how do you expect her to pay the rent? What was the total rent?
The rent was $750 a month, Your Honor.
And prior to going to jail, how much did you contribute towards the rent? Is not an answer.
I wasn't working at the time because my situation, from October, I was being incarcerated, and I applied for disability, and then I was waiting to get approved while I was...
Well, you got disability. That's what you're complaining about, that you took money out of your account. The money that came out of your account to pay some of these bills was from disability.
I wish you would pay some bills with it. That would make me feel a lot better. But she never paid no bills. She just used the money for unnecessary stuff. So
how do you know that?
Because I have the proof. If she will pay the bills with the money, when I got home, when I get out, I will probably have somewhere to go. When I left the hospital, I had a GoFundMe. I had a little money. I was helping paying bills.
A second, you did a GoFundMe?
Yes, from the hospital, from the months I was in the hospital, so to help me with my medical needs and stuff.
How much did you collect from a GoFundMe page?
$2,800 something.
Do you have an outstanding medical bill?
No, I don't. I actually had Medicaid then at the time.
So that you had no hospital bill. You walked out of the hospital, didn't pay anything.
No, I applied while I was in the hospital.
It doesn't matter. You didn't pay anything, correct?
No.
So what did you do with the $2,800 you got from... Shh.
Okay, I'm sorry.
What did you do with the $2,800 that you got from the GoFundMe page? I'm just curious.
I actually bought a lot of stuff for me to use. When I got out, I needed a lot of stuff.
Okay, you say she took money. Did you take any money out of his account?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
How much did you take out?
I roughly spent maybe $3,000 on bills.
Okay, and what did you spend the $3,000 on?
There was rent, there was food, there were utilities, my car note.
Well, why is he responsible for your car note? Why is he responsible for your food?
Blondie agreed to take care of me because I was not working. I stopped working when he had his incident, his shooting incident. I stopped working to take care of him, to be there for him. And so I had no income coming in. Blondie stated to me that once he received his disability, he was going to take care of me because he had been priorly living with me and not paying any bills.
Is that right, sir?
Just
that's a simple answer. She said something to me. It sort of makes sense. And all I'm asking you is the statements that she just made to me, are they accurate? Oh, no. That doesn't make sense to me.
He tried to attack her with a crowbar.
Just a second. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, yeah.
I've been in this business for much too long, folks, I want my mail and I didn't give it to you, so he went to jail for 6 months. Yeah, that didn't happen.
Blondie O'Barron claims his ex-girlfriend
Sharila Williams stole his property and wrongfully withdrew money from his bank account. Sharila is countersuing for property damage.
The statements that she just made to me, are they accurate?
Somewhat.
What's not accurate? Were you living with her?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you paying bills when you were living with her? Rent, food, utilities?
Yes.
Were you paying for that?
I actually paid for food. Yeah.
Okay, so you paid for nothing. And then prior to your becoming incapacitated, was the defendant working?
She actually was working and then she stopped working.
She was working. What was she doing? You were living together, so you know what she was doing. What was she doing?
She wasn't really taking care of me.
I didn't ask about taking care of you.
She wasn't doing nothing.
I asked, was she working prior to your becoming incapacitated?
Yes.
What kind of work was she doing?
Nursing.
She was a nurse.
Yeah.
Are you still nursing?
Your Honor, I'm a medical office receptionist, so I'm not a nurse, Your Honor.
We should have gotten to know you a little bit better. Okay. And on what date did you leave that job?
I stopped working in July.
You were shot in June.
June, yes.
And then you were in the hospital for a while.
Yes.
And prior to being shot, you were not in a wheelchair.
No.
When you came home, was the defendant at home?
Sometimes.
What do you mean sometimes? She was on the lease.
After a couple months from being there, she didn't want to be at the house. She was getting...
Was she with you in July?
Yes, ma'am.
Was she with you in August?
Yes.
Okay. What credit card charges do you believe exist that the defendant used your credit card without your permission?
Oh, right here.
This is a checking account statement, sir.
It's the checking account. It wasn't a credit card.
So she never used your credit card without permission?
No, it wasn't in a credit card.
Okay.
It was just checking account.
In January, February, and March of 2023, you were incarcerated.
Yes.
What were you incarcerated for?
It was a warrant that I have.
Your Honor, it was a warrant from a violent situation that he incurred with his witness.
Tell me about it.
They had a disturbance at her location, and they arrested him from the house that we shared due to a warrant from his witness.
Okay. And was that because you called the police because you were having an altercation?
I called the police because we were having an altercation, but they arrested him due to an incident between him and his child's mother.
Okay. And when did that occur?
That occurred October 28th.
Now, what items do you say that she took from you without permission?
All my personal belongings, like clothes, shoes, everything. I left with nothing at all, like when I got out.
When you got out of jail?
Yes.
Okay. When you got out of jail, what was the date that you were released from jail?
April 14th.
And where did you go?
I actually slept in the car that night because...
Where did you go the next day?
The next day, my kid's mother tried to help me find a hotel and pay for it.
And what happened to the apartment that you had been sharing with the defendant?
The week before I got out, me and the defendant, we was actually talking. When I got out, she was gonna release everything to me so we can move on. But
so you could move on?
But we both can move on. So the week before I got out, she started me answering the phone from the jail. And then she had a plan to move out, but when she moved...
Well, the lease was up the next month.
Well, I don't think the lease was off yet.
Yeah, the lease was going to be up the next month. It was a year lease.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
Well, I'm telling you, it was a year lease. It was going to be up the next month.
Okay, well, then again, she didn't want me to be there anymore.
Well, you had an altercation with her, did you not?
After my incident, she started there.
Just a second, you had an altercation with her?
We had, yes.
You had the altercation in October.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And as a result of that altercation, another warrant dropped on you from another incident.
Yes.
So I can imagine that she didn't want to be with you anymore because she had called the police on you as a result of the October incident.
No, that wasn't the reason.
Why? What was the reason?
The reason was because I wasn't good enough at the point because of my situation. I was in a wheelchair. She didn't want nothing to do with me at that point anymore.
Okay.
The only reason she actually led me out when the doctor told me I couldn't walk anymore. I told her, you don't have to be there if you don't want to. And even my mom told her that when she seen her outside the hospital. But she kind of feels some type of way about that. And then when I told her after that, she told me, well, your mom told me the same thing But I choose to be here because, you know, I love you, this and that. So she leave me on, tell me, I'm going to help you. You can come back home with this and that. And then a couple months after the low money I got from the GoFundMe was over, everything I said was an argument, and we started getting into altercation every other day. Because after the 2 months that I didn't have nothing to basically give her anymore, and being in my situation, it's like she was using that to, you know, take advantage of everything.
What did she take?
She took my clothes, everything that I owned. She took everything that I owned.
Your Honor, I took some of his belongings to an address that he resides at also. I dropped some belongings off over there in Independence, Missouri.
And do you know who lives there?
Yes, his brothers live there.
And what did you bring over there?
I dropped off a couple Tupperware of clothes, Your Honor. I didn't want to bring anything personally to him because I just kind of feared for my life. And so I dropped some belongings off prior to him getting out. And then once he was released out, I kind of took some time to give him some of his rest of his belongings just because I was scared.
How did you give him those belongings
I
after he got
personally handed
out?
them to him.
Where?
His address in Independence.
Where his brother also lives?
Yes.
You remember that?
No, I have no idea what she's talking about, Your Honor.
What address is on your driver's license?
Her address, actually.
Okay. Did you call anyone before you went over there with these bags of clothing?
I talked to Blondie and I told him I was going to drop his stuff off. He gave me an address to drop the stuff off.
Can I see that, please? Do you remember that, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, just don't say anything.
Yep.
And she's going to show me.
I actually gave her an address, but nothing ever.
Just a second. So now you're remembering that you gave her.
Yes,
and
I did.
I'd like to see what she has, please. It doesn't say anything. I will give you your belongings. We can move on, but
it's up at the top where I'm asking him for the address.
Address or what?
And he's not sending it, but he did send me an address. I just don't have that with me, Your Honor.
Okay, but I want to tell you something, sir. In this text exchange, she says address or what? And you answer her, enjoy my money while it lasts. You remember that? And then when you got out of jail, you were on probation?
I was already on probation for something else.
What were you on probation for? For something else?
Probation violation.
Well, you don't go to jail for probation violation unless there's another underlying crime.
Blondie O'Barron has accused his ex-girlfriend, Sharila Williams, of stealing property and taking money without his permission. Sharila is countersuing Blondie for property damage.
I'm now addressing your counterclaim. I want you to tell me what happened on October 28th.
So what happened was I came home to him tearing up different items around the house. He tore up a wardrobe of mine. There were some TV damages done. As I came in the house, we were arguing. We had been arguing.
What were you arguing about?
I no longer wanted to be with him just for the past things that I've experienced with him. I was just done and over the drama, the mental abuse, the physical abuse, the verbal abuse. My kids are witnesses to this. I was just done, Your Honor. I wanted to move on. So I called the police, and then they informed me that they were arresting him on another charge for whatever he had going on with his children's mother.
Now you can stand up. Okay. Tell me your last name.
Moore.
Miss Moore.
Yes.
You and the plaintiff have a child together?
Yes, ma'am.
One child?
Yes, ma'am.
Plaintiff was arrested for an altercation that he had with you.
Right.
When did that happen?
4 weeks. Huh? A couple weeks before he was shot. He had some mail come into my house, and I didn't realize that he had mail delivered. And so he came to my residence, and he was looking for the mail, and I didn't give it to him. And so I asked him to leave a couple of times. He didn't leave, and so then I called the police. And so that's when he had a warrant out for his arrest for basically like disturbance of peace.
Oh, no. That doesn't make sense to me.
He tried to attack her with a crowbar.
Just a second. That
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. I've been in this
Physical.
business for much too long, folks, I want my mail and I didn't give it to you, so
That
he
is
went to
what
jail for
happened,
6
though.
months. That didn't happen, madam.
No,
Miss Ford.
it was it kind of got put under domestic because he did become like violent. He wanted.
Well, that's what I'm asking
Yeah,
you.
he wanted.
Don't
his
give me
mail.
this mail business.
He wanted his mail, so he had a crowbar basically approaching my vehicle. And so my nephew went out there and tried to stop it. And so they kind of had a back and forth shoving thing.
Just a second. So now it's getting more serious.
Yeah.
Were you, sir, arrested with regard to that domestic incident?
Yes.
Was there a trial on that case?
Yes.
What happened with that case?
They dropped it and just give me probation.
No, they didn't drop it.
Yes,
If they
they
gave you
the charges.
Just a second. Listen to me carefully. The justice system does not put people on probation unless there is a conviction for something.
Right.
Now, they may have reduced the charges. Did you have a trial or did you plead guilty?
Plead guilty.
That's different story. You pled guilty to what charge?
Assault.
On whom?
Her nephew.
Her nephew, not her.
No.
Sit down. Okay. Sit down. I can rely on nothing that you tell me. So you were convicted of assault on her nephew. You were placed on probation.
I was already on probation for something else.
What were you on probation for something else?
Probation violation.
Well, you don't go to jail for probation violation unless there's another underlying crime. What was the underlying crime that
Driving.
Driving.
Yes.
No, driving is not a crime, sir. You were never on probation for driving.
Yes, I was.
Well, not in this country.
Okay.
Not in this country. You may be on probation if you have an aggravated DUI. You may be on probation because
Suspended license, ma'am.
Well, because you had no license.
Yes.
Even driving on a suspended license, you don't go to jail unless you had something more serious. Before that,
no, Your Honor.
You seem to have an awful lot of legal problems, sir.
I have.
You have an awful lot of legal problems. You were living with this lady. She took out money. She paid bills. Forget it. You used your GoFundMe page. I don't know what for. Here's a phone. I listened to your counterclaim. Your counterclaim didn't say much. It said he destroyed some things in your house.
Yes, Your Honor. Blondie tore up some TVs that were in the house. I have pictures of.
That was in October.
Almost
a year ago.
Yes, Your Honor.
Almost a year ago. We're almost a year later. If he destroyed some of these items, where have you been about filing a case against him?
So I realized that the police department, they put out a warrant for the damages that occurred October 28th to an iPhone of mine. I have that police report.
I'd
yes,
like to
Your
see the
Honor.
police report. You cause any damage to things in her residence?
Actually, what happened...
Just a second to see the yes or no.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, the only thing that was reported damaged was an iPhone.
Yes, Your Honor.
Period. And the police reported that it was broken front and back. Nothing else. No TVs, no nothing. That's what the police reported. They spoke to you and that's what you said was damaged. Did you damage her iPhone?
No, ma'am.
How did it get damaged?
What happened was the altercation that happened between me and her. She started. I was in the kitchen, and then she was in the bedroom. And then next thing I know, I was opening the fridge. I'm sitting there, and then I got a punch that come behind my head, and then she took off running and went outside, and then called the police.
What did you use to call the police? Is not an answer. What did you use to call the police?
My cell phone, Your Honor.
Yuck. Your counterclaim is dismissed. So is your claim, sir. I suggest you stay far away from each other, and I'm going to tell you one thing. If he has violent propensities, you think twice. Be smart. Goodbye. Both of you. Goodbye.
This court is adjourned.
Blondie freeloaded off of me for a year and a half.
I don't think it was fair enough. I didn't really get my point across.
The final straw is my kids. My kids had endured enough, and it was just time for a change for us.
Forgive her. I guess she needed the money more than I do. I'm not really mad about it. It's okay.
I'm okay with the judge's decision today. I just gonna get my protection order and move on.
You know what was most distressing to me about that case, Sarah? The plaintiff's girlfriend, the mother of his son, was a well-spoken, articulate, together woman with whom he's currently living, despite the fact that he was convicted of a serious assault. He was originally charged with aggravated assault on her nephew. Then you have the defendant, another articulate, seemingly together person who had a responsible job before him. These two women accepting a place where they know they're going to live in fear of somebody that has violent propensities. They both know it.
At least with the defendant, after they had that altercation,